Rich and Pat DeCesar also developed a property that was a prototype for what has become a staple venue for music concerts, the Amphitheater.
We opened this thing up. It held about 4,000 people, no cover. We opened with the Judds and then went on to the Doobie Brothers, Chicago, and Ringo Starr, Jethro Tull, on and on and on. And finally, Bob Dylan.
Another part of Rich's success as a promoter is that he is known as someone who genuinely cares about the well-being of the rock stars he promoted. Little did he know that his compassionate demeanor would lead to a very unusual request prior to a Bob Dylan show.
If it was a DeCesar Engler show, you know that it was going to be a good show. The biggest bands, the best bands. I was fortunate enough to see a DeCesar Engler show, Bob Dylan, on the south side of Pittsburgh. It was the IC Light Tent. Bob Dylan was just coming out of a hiatus, and he was not necessarily at the top of his game. Bob came out and did one of the best shows that he's ever done. I loved the show so much that I stole the chair that I was sitting in from the venue.
The manager comes to me, Jeff Kramer, and Jeff goes, "Hey, Rich," he goes, "you mind talking to Bob Dylan? He's really down in the dumps." I said, "Sure, man." Now, after that conversation, I stood there for a second to think, can you believe this? I'm going to give Bob Dylan a pep talk. The same guy that I listened to whenever I was scrubbing the floors and waxing the floors in the grade school in 1964 summer. I'm not a motivational speaker. I better come up with something good quick. Sure enough, I go back to the dressing room. Door opens and Bob comes out. "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, Bob, good. Very nice to meet you, man." But I said, I really wanted to have a couple minutes with you so I could tell you how gunned up this crowd is. You know, I do a lot of shows. I said, but not too often do I see an audience like this that's so psyched up to see you. I spent about 20 minutes of the pep talking and trying to secure him and pump him that how great it's gonna be for him, not only the audience, that he's gonna come out with a feeling that is so different than he's had in a long time. I didn't find out till many, 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 many years later how significant was my speech, and his life changed after that show significantly. And the shows after that were like over the top. And he must have just got so inspired with this evening. Hopefully my speech did the trick and we brought it home.